Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know who I am, I of course am the FPL Train, and in today's video I'm going to be revealing my team selection ahead of Game Week 22, which is tomorrow. Mental. 21's just finished and now 21's going to start up again. It's just, I thought the non-stop football was over Christmas only. It's gone into January, but this is thankfully the last midweek game we've got for some time. So before I go through, of course, my Game Week 22 plans, we're going to look back on 21, which has just finished, and talk about that. And as you can see, I did score 67 points overall, which, to be fair, I'm quite happy with. Wasn't confident going into the game week, if I'm being honest. So to get 67 points and a green arrow, definitely be taking that. So let's talk about it then. So in goal was Martinez, and he got me a clean sheet. I couldn't believe it. He got me an actual clean sheet. It was mental. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, Calvert-Lewin did miss that chance right at the end, and I thought, here we go. There's the goal. But thankfully, Calvert-Lewin doesn't know how to score goals. So I managed to come away with a clean sheet from Martinez, buzzing about that. And then my back three didn't do too bad. I mean, Levi Colwill was poor. I'm not going to lie. 1 point again from him. I mean, look, I brought him in. He was cheap. Chelsea was going on that really good run. I thought, you know what? This will work out a treat. He's got 2 points in the last 3 games, which isn't great. And especially when you see who he played. He played Ipswich, Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. I mean, kind of expected a lot better from him. Didn't, obviously, which is a shame. Thankfully, the other two did pretty decent though. So, Anthony Robinson got me 7 points, even though, of course, he conceded 3 goals. But amazingly, he got 2 assists for Fulham. I couldn't believe that. Obviously, I didn't watch the game. So to find out afterwards, he got the 2 assists. Really buzzing about that. So he came away with 7 points. And then Lewis Hall also got a clean sheet for Newcastle against Wolves. Which, I mean, for a second I thought I lost it. Because obviously Wolves did score, but he got disallowed for handball. So really buzzing about that. To get 20 points out of my defence in total. You know, that very rarely happens these days. Usually it's like 4 points. So really buzzing about my defence. And obviously Rico Lewis didn't play, which was a bit of a shock. But, you know, it is what it is. So my midfield wise, that meant Smith Rowe did start. So obviously that was my talking point for my team selection in Game Week 21. Is it going to be Robertson or Smith Rowe to start for me? And I was waiting for team news. Didn't find out before the deadline. So in the end I did start Robertson. But because Lewis didn't play at all, Smith Rowe was my number 1 substitution. And he started. And in the end he was disappointing. So thank God I decided to start Robertson ahead of him. Because it could have been a lot worse for me than it was. So yeah, Smith Rowe only got 2 points. It's disappointing, you know, against West Ham, they battered him as well. I kind of expected a bit more from him, but he did get 6-7 minutes under his belt at least, so got that extra point, because I did think he was going to go off at half time. Cole Palmer, though, really buzzing about him. Got 20 points for me. You know, captain him, Salah's always a gamble, so when he got that early goal, I thought, here we go, it's going to be an hat-trick. Wasn't to be. He only got the 1 goal in the end, but he did manage to get 3 bonus points. So 20 points for him. Happy days. Morgan Rogers buzzing with his assist against Everton. You always hope for more, but I'd definitely take that assist there. So that's 6 points from him. I'm actually buzzing that Salah's blanked as well. So 2 points from him. Obviously because I haven't captained him. Most of the time I do captain him because he just doesn't stop scoring or getting assists. So the fact that they got neither, oh, beautiful. Just beautiful. Needed that one. Obviously he had a tough game against Forest. So really happy about that. And then Eze got the assist against Leicester City. So that's another return from him. So really happy that I brought him in. So that's 6 points from him. And then that leaves me in my front 2 in Ollie Watkins and Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland failed miserably yet again. Even though Man City scored 2 goals against Brentford. Honestly, he has been the biggest regret or the worst decision I've made this season in terms of keeping him. And that's all because of the start of the season when I didn't captain him when he went on those hat-trick runs. And I've been too scared to get rid of him. And it's really destroyed my season, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, that was disappointing because obviously we'll ease at getting 2 goals and assists. But Ollie Watkins did start for me. He got 9 points. Really happy with that. So Ollie Watkins was a big worry for me as well going into the game week because Durant is now available for Aston Villa. And I did think he might be starting ahead of Watkins. So when I saw Watkins started, buzzing. He got the goal against Everton. He should have got more than 1 though. He had unbelievable chances to score more than 1. Only got the 1 in the end, so I'll have to take that. I did get the 3 bonus points for it. And he did play 90 minutes as well, which was a surprise. I thought he would have gone off after like 60 to 70 minutes. Played the full 90, so he did get 9 points in the end. So, overall then, majority of my team did pretty well. Obviously, the big guns in Salah and Haaland did blank, which was probably a surprise. Really disappointed though with Haaland out of that whole lot. Everybody else I'm really happy with. Obviously, Colwill and Smith Rowe didn't get obviously anything for me, but I'm not too fussed about that. The big negative from it was Haaland, but thankfully, nevertheless, I got a green arrow. So on to game week 22 then, where I do have 2 free transfers for this game week. And I'm not going to lie, I've put myself in a horrible situation, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. So yeah, 2 free transfers, not made them yet, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them just yet either. But I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking so far. So in goal, of course, is going to be Martinez. He's got a horrible fixture there against Arsenal, so he's going to be conceding, so he's going to be blanking for me in game week 22. So I'm expecting a 2-pointer, maybe a 1-pointer, hopefully get a 3-pointer. So not optimistic with that one. It's looking like I'm going to be going for a back 4 as well for this game week. So Robertson's got Leicester away. I'm confident and I'm not confident at the same time, just purely based on the fact that obviously Leicester got beat 2-0 against Crystal Palace at home. They've got to win this game against Fulham now. So it's a must-win game really for Leicester. So a bit worried about that, but maybe the fact that they're going to be more attacking possibly, that gives Robertson a better chance to get an assist. We'll see. But yeah, a bit worried about that one. Rico Lewis, he didn't play at all against Brentford midweek, so I'm kind of expecting him to start this game against Ipswich away. So we'll have to see, because again, if he doesn't start in this game against Ipswich, alarm bells will start going off thinking, what am I going to do with Rico Lewis? Because there's not a lot of value in Rico Lewis, so ideally I need him to start in this game, especially as well when you get the likes of Kyle Walker not even in the squad at the minute because he wants to leave. Levi Colwell's got Wolves at home. You'd think that's a nice fixture, but you know, Wolves do have some attackers in like Cunha and Larson, so I can't be confident in Colwell and Chelsea keeping a clean sheet. And then Lewis Hall has got Bournemouth at home. It looks nice and paper-ish. Bournemouth are a good team. Bournemouth usually do well against Newcastle as well. So I'm not really that confident with him either, if I'm being honest. So not the greatest, defense again. But look, Colwell and Lewis Hall are at home. You kind of edge them to do well. I'm hoping Rico Lewis starts against Ipswich, and yeah, anything could happen in the game with Fulham and Leicester. We'll have to see, but I'm not expecting anything at all really from Martinez. Moving on to the midfield then, there is one change here, but it's not a transfer, it's only a substitution. So I've decided that I'm going to put Morgan Rogers on the bench for now. Now I've looked at the history against the bigger clubs, particularly away from home, and he hasn't exactly done much so far this season. So I'm edging towards putting him on the bench this week and starting Emmanuel Smith-Rowe. He's got obviously Leicester away, which is a much better fixture than Arsenal away. So I'm just going to edge Smith-Rowe ahead of Rodgers for this game week. Mo Salah's got Brentford away, but he's not going to be my captain at this moment in time. Sticking so far, Cole Palmer's got Wolves at home. Brentford do concede goals though. That is something to think about. Obviously, Man City just scored 2 against them, so they are, he could easily score an hat-trick against them. Foden did that last season to Brentford, so that is playing on my mind. The fact that Palmer's got Wolves at home though, is so desirable to have him instead of Salah as my captain. That is the big headache I've got as well for this game week. Do I go Salah or Palmer? At the minute, Palmer still has it, but I've got 24 hours, less than probably in 24 hours, to decide on whether to have him. Who should be my captain? It's either with Salah or Palmer. At the minute, it is Palmer. And then finally, Eze's got West Ham away. Yes, West Ham did win against Fulham midweek 3-2, but West Ham looked pretty terrible in all fairness. So I'm not too worried, to be honest, with Eze. I mean, he's looked good being back in Crystal Palace. He's played well, so I expect him to do well in this game. I mean, now I've just said that, he's going to blank, no doubt. And that leaves me then the front two of Watkins and Haaland. Last week, potentially, I will be owning Erling Haaland because he's got Ipswich away. And then after that, I mean, Man City's fixtures, I'm not kidding you, are just an absolute nightmare. And if you're a Man City fan, you'll be a bit worried they've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Spurs, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, all to come. That is an absolute nightmare. I wouldn't really look possibly getting Haaland back till April. So, not a great run of fixtures for Man City. I mean, he's been poor for some time. I expect him probably to score in some of those games, but with the likes of Isak being so desirable right now, I can't afford to keep him after this game week. I'm keeping him for Ipswich. His team's come up from the Championship. There's a chance he could do well in this game. I mean, don't get me wrong. The second he blanks against Ipswich, he's out of my team immediately. That's all I'm saying about that. So yeah, he is a massive headache I've had. And like I've said before, he is a regret for keeping him for so long. And then Ollie Watkins got Aston Villa away. That's a nightmare fixture. And I don't even know if he's going to start. The fact that he played 90 minutes against Everton, on one hand, I was like, get in there. It's the 88th minute, he could get a second goal. Now the game's finished, I'm thinking, oh crap, he just played 90 minutes. Duran's going to start against Arsenal, isn't he? That's what I'm thinking. Even though, you know, I've got transfer speculation with Duran, I'm worried. I'm really worried that he's going to be starting instead of Watkins. And even then, I can see if he does start, Watkins could go off before 60th minute. That's a headache. So my plan was to take Watkins out now. I'm not going to lie. But at the minute, I've got a headache with that situation. So Isak's more expensive now than Ollie Watkins. And I've only got 0.1 million in the bank. So to do that, I need to make a second transfer. And that's where the headache comes in. So I don't know who's to go for. So in terms of prices, I can't really afford anybody I'd ideally like. So the best way to do things is to get rid of Haaland. But I don't want to get rid of Haaland against Ipswich away. Now I looked at it, and what I could obviously do is take Haaland out or Watkins out and bring in Chris Wood, who's got Southampton, which is obviously the fixture everybody wants. Southampton's, no offence to Southampton, is the easiest fixture you can get. And the fact is, Nottingham Forest are at home. So, yeah, I want him probably for one game week. But is it worth it? Because then I need to make... Well, I wouldn't need to make a second transfer. Then I'd roll a transfer and have two again. But I'd need... So when you look at game week 23, Newcastle then have Southampton away. And ideally, I'd love to have Gordon and Isak for game week 23. So that is what I want. But to do that, I'd have to take Haaland out to get, you know, to free money. Because I mean, I could take Smith Rowe out now, but he's got Leicester away. Still want to take him out. I don't want to. All season, I've been debating which player to take out. Really, would it be Smith Rowe or Rodgers? And now I'm going Rodgers to stay in my team because Rodgers plays 90 minutes majority of the time. Smith Rowe will come and go. He'll get injured for a bit, and it's just not worth having him over Rodgers. So Smith Rowe will come out of my team eventually in the next couple of weeks. So that's what I'm thinking. So obviously I'd love to have Chris Wood for this game week in 22. Could I take him out now for Watkins or Haaland? I mean, I'm not taking out for Haaland. Watkins maybe. I have to think about that because it's a big decision. Because then, what do I do next? Because I mean, I'm not actually checked. I'll just double check now. Nottingham Forest have got in game week 23 Bournemouth away. Not an easy fixture, is it? Oh, it's an headache, that one. See what I mean though? This is my biggest headache. Well, massive headache. Bear in mind as well, I hate my defence still. I mean, I love Lewis Hall. He's been phenomenal. Martinez has been awful all season. Colwell's not been worth it. Lewis, I can't guarantee he plays. And Robertson's just come in. So, headache. I've got a lot of headaches. So, yeah, it's a big decision what I'm going to do. Will I roll the transfer, or both my transfers, and go for 3 for game week 23? Do I go sod it, get Chris Wood, he's in form, put him against Southampton, and see what happens? There could be some upside. The biggest issue I've got is the fact that Aston Villa is not the early kickoff on Saturday. It had to be, well, there isn't one. No, there is one, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong game week. It had to be Newcastle Bournemouth. It had to be. No, my luck, Isak's going to score an hat-trick anyway in the early kickoff, and I'm going to be annoyed. So yeah, if it was the early kickoff, it'd been great. Found out Watkins weren't playing, and then straight away I can go Woods in straight away. But Yeah, anyway, I'm rabbiting. Obviously, I've got decisions to make. So far, this is going to be my team for game week 22. Obviously, debate on captaincy is either going to be Palmer or Salah. Let me know who you think it should be. And what transfers should I make? Should I take Watkins out now, or should I wait to 23 and take out Erling Haaland and bring in Chris Wood now? Or should I wait to game week 23 and bring in Isaacs? Decisions, and it's an absolute shit show right now for me. But hopefully it all works out for me in the end. So let me know what you guys think about this team for game week 22. And let me know what you guys are doing for game week 22. And also, before you go, please do not forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.